Guys, so thanks for coming back to our class and thanks for coming to our next video. So today what we're going to be talking about is, again, now we're talking in our series on personal success. We're talking about what does it mean, and the number one principle of personal success is to simply care. It's very important. I don't know how long this video is really going to be because I don't know how much I can talk about what it means to care, but I'm going to give you the best ideas that I've got. But the most important is the reason I write it here, and the reason it's its own video is because it is that important. It literally is the number one important thing to personal success, to getting personal success. Let's say you want to have a better relationship. Well, number one, you've got to care about that relationship. And really, this is, I don't want to make this seem like you care or you don't care, because caring, it's a skill that can grow. If you think, oh yeah, I care about my wife, like rank that out. Like, hey, I care about my business, or I care about the people around me, or I care about being the number one salesperson, or I care about whatever. You got to rank that out on how much you really care. Let me tell you what it means to care. And really what it means to is it means to eat, breathe, and sleep whatever it is that you're doing. If you want to be successful in business, or you want to be successful at your job, you want to be successful in your relationship, you have to eat, breathe, and sleep it till it's done. I'm going to give you an analogy real quick. This is an analogy that I give every single person who comes and works for me at Brio Energy. I'm going to give the analogy of two analogies, actually. I'm going to give first the analogy of the small prop plane. Okay, if you know anything about small prop planes, it takes a certain amount of thrust or a certain amount of throttle to get off the ground. And that throttle is, it's actually 100%. If a small prop plane does not give 100% throttle, then it will not get off the ground. So that's what it has to give, 100%. It's going to get up. But then once it gets to cruising altitude, it only needs about 60% throttle in order to maintain the thrust that it's already accumulated. When I ask people this, they go, really what the analogy is how many people do you know who are giving 80 to 90% of their own personal throttle, and they just never get off the ground? I mean, honestly, there's a quote by Art Williams, one of my favorite quotes, says, "Almost is a way of life to almost everyone." And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about most people are really living their lives 80 to 90% throttle in everything they do, in their relationships, in their business, in their work, in their spirituality, whatever it is, physically, they're doing 80, 90% throttle. And what are the results? Well, there are no results. They're stuck on the ground. But really, if you want to get results, you've got to care. And you've got to develop the skill, and you've got to eat, breathe, and sleep stuff till it's done. And what I mean by that is you've got to give 100% throttle until you get off the ground, and then you come to cruising altitude, and sure, bring it back to 60%, maybe to relate this to physicality or to working out. If you go and you work out and you get stuff going, how long does it take for you to really achieve your, the body? Well, depending on different bodies, but for the most part, a lot of people can probably get to where they want to be physically in maybe 3 to 6 months, right? But once they're there, do they have to keep working out as hard as they were when they were out of shape? No, they don't, because now they can maintain it. And I'm always surprised at how many people, would rather give 80 to 90% for the rest of their life rather than 100% for a certain amount of time, actually more to there, a certain amount of time, but then pull it back to 60. That's what you really look at. Everything that you want to get a change in, anything that you want to do better, anything that you want to have grow on you, you got to give it 100% until it's done. Now, what does that mean to give 100% in my eyes? Guys, I'm telling you, when I'm working on something, and the people around me, and the people in my organizations, and my high-level people, when they're working on something, they do it, and do it, and do it, and do it until the job gets done. And what I mean by that is they literally are up from the time their head comes off the pillow to the time their head goes back on the pillow at night. They are doing it and doing it until the job gets done. And I don't care what the goal is or where you want to be or what you want to do. Guys, the coolest thing about caring is, this is my opinion, the coolest thing about caring is nobody else does it. So people make it sound like it's so hard to be successful. It's so hard to move up in a company. It's so hard. But the truth is, guys, you're surrounded by 95% of the population who doesn't even care. So if you can simply do this one thing, it is guaranteed that you will move up your company. It is guaranteed. And I'm going to go through a few other things it's going to take to guarantee it. But you will move up. If you start to care, if you start to, the reason people don't care is because there's risk involved. What if I care a whole lot and I don't get the job? Well, what if I care a whole lot and I do everything I possibly can and my business doesn't go well? Well, what if I blah, 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 blah? And that's the main reason why nobody cares. I actually did, when I was in college, I did this thing where I took a questionnaire out and I asked, maybe 200-300 people this survey. And the survey simply said, if you really do it as good as you can, you care, you really work as hard as you possibly can, is it guaranteed that you'll be successful? And based on that answer, I knew exactly how hard people were working. The people who said, well, yeah, maybe it's guaranteed, I think it probably is, but there's still that 1% chance that something bad's going to happen to you, those people didn't work hard. The people who are like, yeah, you work hard, you care, you'll get a result every single time. Those people, they were working hard. And I think a lot of that maybe caring does come down to like faith in yourself and stuff like that. So maybe, hopefully you've maybe gotten some answers to that in the self-awareness part of this course. But guys, I just want to tell you, my personal opinion is I work with people who, honestly, who are high-level leaders for me. And the truth is, I know they're not that talented. Personally, I know they're not that talented. But I know they care, which I know always wins out versus somebody who doesn't care. Somebody who's going to give me 99% of what they can do, I'm out on. I don't want anything to do with. And when you start to feel that way, or whatever you're doing, just do it. Just care. If you have questions about this, I hope you send them to me, because I don't know how clear I really was on this exact video, but I want you to understand what it takes to care. Just care. Care a lot. Care as much as you humanly possibly can till you hit that moment of getting what you want. And then pull it back to 60%. Pull that effort back to 60% and live an awesome freaking life. Once you get to this point of where you want and you can pull it back to 60%, life's amazing. I'm telling you, because I know from experience. Now I choose the things I'm really going to care about until they're done, and I hang out for a little bit. And then I choose the next thing that I'm going to care about, and then I go and I get that done. And that strategy, there are honestly probably 10, 15 books on this one thing alone. So here's the biggest thing. Number one, learn how to care. And along with the care, learn to stop doubting whether you're going to be successful or not. Because just take my word for this. I promise you, if you care, you are going to get the results that you want. And how do I know that? Because there's not even a competition. Everyone else already doesn't. So get that done for me. Thank you guys for watching this video. We'll see you in our next video.